Record, and we'll begin. Okay, so what we're going to do today that's slightly different from what we normally do is we're going to take a look at some project management principles and apply them to uh, the way that we're actually leading community. Okay, so today we had a few project management sessions this morning, and what we talked about was let's see whose cards came up today. Okay, there was let's see. Okay, one of the cards that came up was Rizal's card, right? And one of the projects Rizal's working on is this. Okay, and the reason why I want to illustrate this is to show sort of like what these are some wisdom pieces that we picked up from professional networking, but also just from looking at general project management. Okay, so let's say we take a look at a few cards, and I think the greatest contrast was actually between Andre's card over here. Okay. Okay, so we have two cards. We can take a look at both of them, and then after we take a look at that, we can then objectively take a look at some community cards. Okay, let's see. And Tendi, Andre's supposed to be joining us today, right?
Yes, I
I
have
am
some
here, sir.
Oh,
already.
okay, all right. Oh, welcome in, Andre. All right, very good. Andre, today for the community management scrum, I thought let's take what we talked about this morning at the project management class and see what we can do to fix up community management, right? So one of the first things was what we talked about was this principle. Andre, let's see if we absorbed what we had spoken about this morning. Andre, what what do you see from your card that you would like to change?
Okay. The first is the intended outcome here, sir. SPD also mentioned about it should be more something like more efficient. Oh, I forgot what Fidi said, but it should be something that achievable like that,
Mhm.
and it should be more obvious that Fidi said. And I haven't changed the intended outcome, but I'm trying to change the hypothesis by today now,
No.
and yeah, I think that's all about the intended outcome. We have to have something that also measurable and achievable.
Okay. Take a look, Tendi, at these two intended results. The one on the left and versus the one on the right, right? Okay. Let's go over those. And we can actually even ask Joseph actually to participate in this one. Uh, let's go to Tendi first. Tendi, what do you see as the difference between intended outcome on the left versus intended result on or left and right? What's the difference?
Um, I think the what's called the result need to be like something that we can actually see or gut from this card, like
Mm,
not like the what's called the opinion, but it's something like more clear, like what actually. So, for example, like a better community management. What is the better mean? Is it like 100% community is involved or something? So and then in the left side get more comfortable inquiries compared to the previous method.
mhm.
So I think that's clear, but I think it's need the data. What is the previous one, and
Mhm.
then what usually that you want to achieve for this from this card. For example, like
Yes.
the previous one is like we only convert like 50%, but on this card to gain and like 80%.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like a more clear outcome. Like
Okay. All right. Very good. And also, this card has an additional aspect to it. It has a background, right? So this card doesn't have a background. This one's not really connected to any previous card. This card is a pivot from a previous card, right? The card on the right has a traceable background and it has a way of relating to what this is about, and so that anybody who picks this card up can see why we're doing this, right? What was the intended idea? So well, let's do this as just an exercise for the moment. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take this card over here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through a pivot. Okay, and this is good for all the new people too here as well. And you can guys can see what's going on. I forgot to ask Joseph. Joseph, what do you see as the biggest difference between the intended result on the left and the intended outcome on the right, and the way that they're written? Now, these are two different projects, so of course they're going to be different. But we're just asking about the quality of the idea of the vision.
Okay, I think the intended result one is more quantitative. I mean, it get more comfortable, comfort more.
Mm-hmm.
But in the intended outcome, it is just like a very general outcome, better community. But how can it be better? Like that? That
Yes.
is in the intended outcome. It actually state that okay, we need to get more comfortable inquiries.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
That's more
Excellent.
miserable.
Excellent. All right. So let's start here and let's see if we can think and reach our ultimate conclusion, right? Which is how do we actually improve the entire chapter as a whole by starting from a card. Now, what I believe my hypothesis is by going through the thought process of this at a single card, what you can do is you can even arrive at a better vision for the entire chapter. Okay. So let's start with this. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to make a new pivot. And the first part of my pivot is I've created a template card. Okay. So that part is there. And I just want to have that kind of ready. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a card from the template card. And I'm going to call this 1.1. Okay. Okay. And it will still sit on Andre's list. Okay. And once the card has been birthed, here's my new card. Now, this is a completely new card that's essentially a copy of the previous card. Okay, so it doesn't have it's not the same number anymore. It is a new card, and it has pretty much everything except the activity that has previously happened on the old card. Okay, so this is brand new with the exception of the activity. But what I'd like to do is let's kind of fix things up a little bit, right? What I want to do is I also want to come over here, and you can see I have two of these cards now. There's the 1.1, and then there's the old one. I'm not going to put the old one away, but in the meantime, I'm going to also look for this. I'm going to look for the new initiative card here. I'm also going to create a card here. Okay. All right. So what I've realized is that, okay, there's kind of a problem here. And the reason is, you see the layout over on this side. This one has a background, intended result, hypothesis, key performance indicators, and evidence. These do not. So I'm dealing with an older template on the right side, over on this side. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this template, and I want to start with a fresh new template, like a better template. So what I do is I come over to this side. These are where all my templates are, right? So this is my secondary initiative template. And I'm using an older version of this template here. It doesn't have background. It doesn't have intended outcome. It doesn't have all the good stuff that the new template has. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a look around. Nope. Okay, this isn't it. And I'm going to have to go borrow it. So I'll go over to revenue management because I think revenue management was the first guys to come up with this new template. So revenue management has a new template card. And when I open that template card, I see, voila, right? This is, oops, what's this nonsense here? Okay, what? Maybe not. Wait, give me a second. Give me a second. I thought I had it. Okay, well, whatever. All right, I have a new template card here. Okay, it has the background, the intended result, the hypothesis, which is formatted a little funny. Okay. Why is it so funny? Wait, give me a second here. Maybe there's too many space there. Not sure what that's about. Okay, anyways, let's get rid of that. Okay, so I have a template here. And this template is the same as this template, right? We got the background section, we got the intended result section, we have the hypothesis, the key performance indicators, and we have the evidence sections. Okay, so that's good. Let me then do something even cooler, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this card, I'm going to copy this card, Okay. And I'm going to copy this card over, and I'm going to put it on the community side. So community is, I believe, community chapter. Okay, let's put it there. And then I will put it on, I'll put it on the general side, right? So I'm going to take a copy of this card. I'm going to copy it back into my home chapter, which is community. Okay, great. Now do you see that? I have a new card right here from the revenue management chapter, right? And that's how you copy cards over from Trello board to Trello board, which is kind of cool. If you missed that part, you can watch the video again. That's why we're recording, okay? But now that I have that, then I have to decide, all right, I don't want to have two templates because that's kind of confusing. So I will upgrade. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this card now over to done. Okay, so I'm taking my old template and I'm filing my old template away, so it's gone. And then I'm taking my new template card and then I'm going to go right over here and I'm going to make it a template. Okay. All right, so now the new template card is my new template for creating an initiative. But I'm going to upgrade it even more. So I'm going to go over to the left side of the screen. And then in addition to community, I also learned something from product, right? Product development. What I learned in product is that they also have a template card here too as well for when they create a new goal, a new idea. This is this card, client goal. So I'm going to open that. And what I see here is that they have some pretty cool questions, right, about what the product solves and what the project's for. I like that. I like that because it helps us prioritize. I like it because it helps us actually think about why we're having a project and clarify that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a checklist over on this new template card. And I'll do that by going over here to the checklist capability. I'll click checklist and I'll just add a checklist, right? Oh, wait, can I? Oh my God, I can copy a checklist. Too bad I cannot copy a checklist outside of, oh, wait. All right, I'm gonna get ultra smart on everyone, right? So I wanna do this in the fastest possible way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy Bayou's card over in the product group. I'm going to then copy it over to the community chapter, right? And then I'm gonna copy it onto the general board. Great. Okay, great, it's done. Right, and here it is. This is now, I know this, if this is confusing, I'll try to, okay. So this is now Bayou's card, the card that we saw previously in the product chapter, right? So now this card is now over here in the community chapter. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna use the entire card because this card is more for product development, but I really like this checklist idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my new template card and I'm gonna copy over the checklist using this cool function, right? So I'm gonna copy the checklist from, where are you? Where did it go? Client. Ah, here it is. I'm gonna copy the, oh, those are all checklists. All right, I thought I could be clever and save some time, but I cannot be clever and save some time. So I guess, okay, I'll just copy this checklist over. And okay, here's some implementation ideas. I have to copy them over one at a time. All right.
I think the easiest way, you just
Start-
copy the description.
Yeah, copy description and then you put on the card.
Yeah.
Bayou's card.
How do I copy this though? This isn't a
No,
description.
the previous one.
Uh-huh.
The description.
Description.
Here is the description.
Not this one, the other one that you make before. No, not this card. The other
Okay.
card.
The template card, yeah?
Yeah, template card. You
Okay.
copy the description, then you put there on the Bayou's card.
Oh, put Bayou's card here.
No, you can copy all the description. This one description, yeah, description.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Good one. Nice. I love it when somebody is more clairvoyant. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll just do that, right? That's way smarter. Okay.
And then you make the template for the card.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was a very good idea. Okay, thank you. So I'll copy the soul over, yeah, onto Bayou's card. Okay, great. So now we have that, and we can make that into a template. Okay, great. Now this becomes our new template, and it has the red mark on it, and we can take our old template, which doesn't have the cool stuff, and we can just delete the intermediary template, right? This is the intermediate template that we used before. That was sort of half of, this was Lilith's idea. Now we kind of have created a new flavor from combining two previous flavors, right? So we took the project management flavor, we combined it with the revenue management flavor, and now we have the new super duper community flavor. All right. So there you have it. This is a initiative template, which is brand new. This has not been done any time ever before, and this is the basis for where we will create a new card. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just create a card from this, and we're going to copy that over. Okay, so this becomes our new card, and we'll go over to Andre Stack. Right, so we'll go over to Andre Stack, and we'll take some of this stuff over here in G1, and we'll copy this stuff in the evidence over. Okay. Actually, no. You know what? I've realized that there was actually no point in creating a copy of this card, because at that point we were thinking down something else. So we failed here. We didn't need to create this extra card. We can go ahead and delete it. So I'll go ahead and delete that, and that's gone. Okay, so now we have a new template card, and we have the old idea. So let's do the first thing. And we have this silly template card here. So we can delete this. This doesn't need to exist anymore. So we can get rid of that. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one that we want. Okay. All right. First things first, so that template cards don't sit around. I'm over on the right screen right now. So that we don't have a template card sitting around and we don't know what it belongs to, let's go ahead and make things clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of surgery. This is why it helps to have a big screen. And I'm going to go and open the community chapter on also my left screen as well. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the original card, okay, from here. Okay, I have the original card from here, so I'll do a little bit of surgery here. I'm going to copy from the left side. I'm going to paste on the right side. I'm going to copy again over on the left side here, and then I'm going to paste on the right side. Now, the first thing should be obvious, actually. We realize that, oh my God, this is an HR initiative. This was not a community initiative, right? This is an HR initiative. So how did it wind its way here? Interesting, right? So let's go back and take a look at why this is here. This is HR G1.1. So why is HR here? Let's go back to HR. So we go back to HR, and we see that HR has an initiative G. And initiative G is to educate and develop our employees with world-class skills, right? So then we know that this is not really part of the community management mission. This is actually part of the HR mission, but it's been delegated to community now to carry on, okay? So we should know why we're doing this. And it's not really to support the community mission, but it's actually to support our education of the people who work at Bukit Vista. Okay, all right, so that's why it's there. That's why we do it, okay? And the reason why I want to bring it up, because for a very long time, I believe Rihanna was doing this in order to convert. He was trying to get more people in. Andre, was that correct?
Yes, sir. We want.
And that was not the point of actually going and doing professional networking. It was not to get 15 meetings. The point was to learn, right? And I think this is actually a pretty good ongoing process. And let's kind of imagine why we want to learn. And we can probably go and take a look at that. So let's take a part of the initial intended outcome and see if we can transplant it to the new card. All right, but before we do that, let's take a look at the background. All right, so this is the new card for the new pivot. So we have the old pivot is here, HRG 1.0. The new pivot is here, HRG 1.1. So let's kind of figure it out a little bit, right? All right, the first thing I think we need to do is we'll set the initial date. So the date now is July 28th, and we'll go ahead and change that, right? So we'll do July 28th. and that will be our today's date. Okay, the background is based on learning, right? So based on let's say, okay, so community management is a new field. It can be unclear about how to achieve success through just experience alone. We therefore find it helpful to connect and ask questions from experts with clear achievement records about their findings and methods. We hope that this will help develop leadership and vision in this chapter so that we will become, we can carry our mission with confidence. Okay, so that's a little bit of the background, right? That's why we're doing this. That's where we're coming from. So that gives us a little bit about how we got here. All right, let's go over to Andre now. Andre, what do you believe the intended result from professional networking should be?
I was thinking that what's the essential need of the community itself. So, in the previous card that I made, I'm trying to make a list. Maybe from the basic need that the community need is something like what is the community task, what the community engagement, what's the community KPI, and then that's what I want to achieve from this professional networking. Let's say you will have a sub discussion with these people, and then these people is teaching you about the community task, and then we have that's the one KPI that we already achieved, and then we have to achieve the other KPIs, like maybe the community engagement and maybe the community KPIs. So that's the intent. That's the things that I was thinking about this. Oh, I'm sorry, you're asking about the intended result. Yeah.
But that's good,
Uh,
actually. That's actually
mhm.
fairly good. So because now you're thinking about the intended result, you're thinking about KPIs. You're thinking about like the metrics that actually we can use to track community progress with. Okay, really good. Let's go over to Sing. Sing, what do you think can be? We've done actually some really interesting work in HR this morning with professional networking. What? How do you believe that can actually apply to how you do work here at Bukit Vista?
Mm, I guess it helps me to analyze the HR, the culture in Bukit Vista. Like it's a different perspective on how I would see it. Yeah, so maybe I was renewed in my perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Let's go over to Tendi. Tendi, what do you picture the intended result of doing professional networking can be?
Yeah, I think that something that we want to learn, like actually what we want to know, like actually the internet outcome, it should be like a based on the issue, right? Like what actually problem that we want to solve. For example, like the participation or the involvement from our community, there is very low involvement or contribution of our program or something. So actually it we have to know first what is the issue that we want to fix it, right? Then we know what
Excellent.
is the result.
Okay. Excellent. That's really good. Let's actually take that and use that as a platform then. So we're going to use this as a platform to help discover, prioritize, and prior, prior, ah, I failed spelling class. Prioritize and problem solve. Okay, so we can use this as a way to discover what are the most urgent, uh, let's say, issues to address as community managers. what to prioritize. Prioritize first, and then get tips, get actionable advice to help solve our problems. Okay. All right. That's great. We have a platform now, right? I have a platform. And then what I mean by platform is now you have a template that you can use over and over and over again to solve a particular problem, right? So whenever you, let's say, have a problem, you can come to this template and you can be, okay, how do I break this down? How do I make this work? So this is now actually something a little bit more now, right? This is not just 1.1. This is kind of like 1.1.1. Okay? If you're intending to use this now as a platform to solve a problem, then what is your problem today that you're looking to solve through professional networking? So I'll give you an example why it's dot one. The intended result could be we get let's say, what is, and the problem could be, how do we get, sorry, how do we get more community engagement? Right, that could be it, right? We're looking just to solve that problem. And let's just make it really simple. That's it. That's all that we expect to get out of this. We expect to get some answers of how we can improve community engagement. Okay. All right. So the hypothesis is, all right, where are we going to point our antenna? Who is going to be able to tell us how to solve community engagement problems? Okay. We seem to have a outreach program directed towards Grab and Uber and some different people here. Let's see what else we have. We have we have we seem to be targeting. I don't know. We're targeting all these different people. We're targeting people at Lyft, Uber, Lyft, Uber, Airbnb, Grab, Marriott, NFL, LG Electronics. It seems like we're all over the place, right? We don't have a specific target. We don't even have a specific like category of person that we're looking for to find community management help with this particular engagement problem. So I think we need to narrow it down a little bit. Andre, how would you like to narrow it down?
Um, Maybe from you said this. I'm not going to say from the specific person, but from the specific company.
Okay, what
To
company would you like to focus on?
um, actually, I haven't think about it. So, but maybe we can also get it from who's got the community engagement best. Yeah, what's the community? Maybe from the local things like Gojek, sir.
Oh,
I think that's also good
okay,
to.
Gojek is an interesting community. Let's go over to Tendi. Tendi, do you believe Gojek would be relevant to our style of community management?
Mm, I don't think so.
Why not?
What I was thinking,
Okay.
like uh, a person that very have a challenge to get people to involve without any pay like a money orientation, right? But if Gojek like a Gojek, because most of the people need money, so they work at Gojek, right?
Yeah.
But what I was thinking is like a people that have a like a community based on like a volunteer. They got many volunteer to have, for example, like the I forgot in Kuta or Canggu, there's like people that get actually a lot of people to for clean the beach like that. For example, what is the
Nice. Okay.
how they get that people, right,
All
to
right.
just volunteer but for free, right? For example, so
Mm.
like yeah, I was interested how to yeah the people that's more challenge to get people with a right reason to join and then collaborate or involve that like that.
Okay. All right. So we can explore how like NGOs find their community, right? Find and engage their community, right? That's kind of like what beach cleanup programs are, right? Like non-government, non-profit organizations. So that one's good. And do you have any that are off the top of mind, Tendi? Do you have any that are on your particular mind that you can think of?
So far, just that, sir.
Okay, no worries. Let's do this then. Here, let's. This is how we come up with a hypothesis. So if you look over on your left screen, let's look for beach cleanup Bali, beach cleanup Bali, and see who's there. Okay, these are beach clubs. Okay, that's probably not what we're looking for. Oh wait, I wrote beach club, not beach cleanup. Okay, sorry. All right, beach cleanup Bali. Yeah. All right, there you go. One island, one voice. Okay, that's one. Beach cleanup, Canggu, beach cleanup. Okay, there's quite a few, right? There's quite a large section, and we can probably approach them. And this becomes our hypothesis. We can start with beach clean up organizations in Bali. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Now this is where things get interesting, right? Let's ask ourselves these questions. Let's before we think of KPIs and everything. What do we want to actually do? We want to go ahead and just check this list off real quick, right? So, what problem will this project solve? Over to Andre. What problem will this
The
project solve?
the community engagement itself, sir, because we have maybe a low community engagement in our company, so we want to fix that particular case in this.
Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't fix it. We still have to implement it, right? But it will help us discover what could be done to improve community engagement, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So fixing it is something else. Fixing it is the project or program, right, that you'll implement. This is before that even. This is just finding the knowledge of how to fix it. Okay, that's the problem. Let's go over to Tendi. What problem will this project solve?
To gain more number of the participation on the program.
Okay, that's definitely part of engagement, right? So
Engagement.
we have a program, we will have higher. Okay, so that's a worthwhile problem. Yeah, we want to do that. That sounds good. Why do we need this, and is it worth to solve? Let's go over to Tendi. Why do we need this, and is it worth to solve?
Yeah, for the word, of course, it's word, and then why we need this first to what's called to make our community stable. So there is like a no gap on the community. So everyone get the information, and then yeah, all like a hundred like a what's called like same information, same knowledge for all the community.
Yeah, the community should be well informed. Okay, and this is definitely necessary because if we want to innovate hospitality, we need the community to help us innovate too as well. So if we don't get this right, then it won't ever happen. So it actually is mission critical to have a well-led community or a highly engaged community, a highly engaged community, which is also kind of like triggers another thought, right? Do we know what the KPIs for a good community should be right now? Tendi, do you know what the KPIs for a good community should be?
I think the yeah for the good community is the the contribution and then the participation. So
Okay,
yeah, for example, like the beach clean. So for example, they have the member 1,000 member.
right.
Actually, how many person is contribute on the program, and then like how many people just like to see or just lay off the program.
Okay. Let's go over to Andre. Andre, what do you think the right KPIs for a community should be?
I think I think what Kak Tandy said is right, but I was also thinking about the uh, how can actually I don't really know about the community KPIs, sir. Actually,
Oh,
I have
good.
no idea.
Okay. Let's keep on going. Let's go to Sing. Sing, you go to church. You have a community church. Are there any sort of measurements that you would say are important to understand if your church community is doing well?
When people invest into each other's life, meaning they are intentional in checking up each other, talking to one another, and
Mm,
meeting them up regularly.
okay. Engagement measured by how much peer-to-peer interaction is
Yeah.
happening. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's go over to Joseph. Joseph, you're part of communities, right? Like you go to school, there's student
Yeah.
groups. How would you measure the success of a community?
Okay. So first of all, do you mistype in the hypothesis? You type club up, not clean up. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I'm
Very good from
for
somebody coming in finance. Yes, all right. Club up. No, yeah, clean up. Okay.
okay. So I think the easiest way to measure how great a community perform will be the size of the community, because if the size is big, then people believe that the community is doing well and they want to spend their time into the community. So
Okay.
maybe the size
But what
can
if
be
you
a
have
measure.
a large community with low engagement? Let's say you have a community of 10,000 people, but whenever you have a party, nobody shows up. Is that still a good
Hmm.
community?
So then we have to measure the engagement also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe, right? Okay, all right.
Hmm.
Let's go to Tara. Tara, what do you think it is?
Ooh. Hmm. I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not sure how to measure like the success of a community, I guess.
Mm.
If it's any help though, similar to Sin, I also go to church, and the way that my church keeps up with, I mean, I guess it's just the community in general. It's when you first join, you have to fill in a form with all your information, with your general area, and then they always like they assign somebody who lives in the same like not neighborhood, like the same, I don't know how to call it, just area of the city as you or country, and then that person always like keeps up with you, I guess.
Oh,
Like
like a buddy.
yeah, kind of like a buddy, I guess.
Okay.
Not like a mentor type system either. It's just like your first friend, I guess,
A
since you're
handler.
new. Mhm.
Okay, great. Now here's a radically candid question. Does anybody believe anybody here really knows the answer? Let's
I
go.
believe that Kak Tendi is giving the most suitable answer, because if we want to measure, like, we want to have at least maybe, or maybe let's say 80% of the community is doing what's our project, or now at least our community is lean and agile to the things what
Mm.
currently happen in now. Let's say we're I don't think that we have agile community yet, because we are in a COVID session, and we don't they don't really want to join our program on CSC. I think that's not measurable. That's the things that we can measure from that, I think.
Okay, great, great. Now we're getting really involved, right? So we can measure community engagement by looking at project participation, right? Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. What else? What else can we? What else can we understand from this? Over to Tendi. If we have 100% project participation, that mean we have a great community.
Yeah, yeah. I think just that, but also I was in other things that I was thinking also the turn rate, like the
Ah, the
how
turnover rate. Yeah.
how how many it's yeah the positive things we thinking, but we also need to think the negative things. So how many like our community is leave from our community or they do not participate, and then why? I think we need to ask them as well, like so we can always improve our community from that thing.
Excellent, excellent. I like what I'm hearing. Okay, great. And I'll add one more thing. Measure over time, right? So, what is the project participation per week? What is the turnover rate per week, per month, whatever it is, so that you have a flow number, right? You have how much is flowing in and good, how much is flowing out and negative. So then you can compare those two flow rates. All right. It looks like we're answering our own questions fairly good now ourselves, which then brings us to the question, do we need any more outside opinions if we have gotten kind of a good handle of what we're looking for? What do you think, Andre?
I think we just need kind of developing ourselves and also mentoring about this community. So I believe also that this can help us. And also one thing that's very important, interesting that I found in the internet, that we can also get a lot of lesson we can get for free, and also because I tried to join the community management session on this August,
Mhm.
and I believe that you can guys also give it get it for free. No, no, yeah, that is a lot of source to learn to, not not only I found the wait, sorry, I forgot the name. It's hub. I forgot, sir. Yeah, but also I believe that LinkedIn will also help you on these things too. I believe that
Excellent.
LinkedIn is the biggest platform to professional
Oh my
networking
God!
and things like that.
Community management as a topic on LinkedIn Learning, right? And for those of you who don't know yet, LinkedIn Learning is the most credible source of professional wisdom that I've ever found in my entire life. Because if you go to look for professional wisdom on YouTube or Instagram, it is generally professional bullshit. So LinkedIn Learning, since we pay for it, usually does a fairly good job of teaching us what we need to do. They have a community management course, and Andre has found a community management course. Tell us more about what you found in community management.
I forgot what is the website, sir, but maybe I can share you on the chat one that I found from here, the Academy HubSpot. It's we can also uh, not only find it from oh, I know Blueprint, if you know, maybe, but it is for famous for the Facebook one, because
Yeah,
there is a lot of Facebook advertising that I already shared with Result too, but I haven't checked. Maybe on the Blueprint things, maybe you can also find it.
very
But
good. Very
back
good.
again on that learning, we have to also relate it to what kind of our community management that we actually need, because not every community management is actually that we need. We have to back
Excellent.
again to the company.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. All right, Tendi, we spent 42 minutes. Do you feel like this has been a waste of time?
Yeah, I think this is more what's called helpful, and then to make it clear, I think that's fine. I think we know which one is the prioritized. So I think this is the most prioritized. So we can just go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. What we're doing right now is we're actually doing what we said we would do. Instead of actually going and executing based on in unwell defined problems, not well prioritized ideas, unclear thinking. We're really, really refining the thinking process here. So we might find out, oh my God, we might not actually need the same hypothesis, right? We might be able to get to our intended outcome with a different way. Maybe we can just go on HubSpot and find all the answers we're looking for. Maybe we can go on whatever else and find what we're looking for information, right? If we're looking for this information to help us develop a plan so that we can lead a community, maybe this information is actually pretty readily available and more quickly available on another source. That would be worth exploring. So let's do that. Let's kind of hatch another idea where we're at this. So I'm going to hatch G1, and this one is not on the same platform. So this is a parallel idea. So we're going to take the idea of learning community management from a world-class GM, not to that from, let's say, world-class materials, right? Okay, all right. So then we have just created a new card, and we have two cards now. We have one hypothesis that we're going to learn this from finding materials. We have another hypothesis that we're going to find it from learning from an actual person. But let's kind of refine that a little bit. Let's go back to the original card and take a look at this community management idea. So we're getting to this point where we've thought it out. We know what we're looking to do. We're looking to improve the community engagement. We have a pretty cool idea. It is related to project participation rate divided by time, turnover rate, turnover divided by time, and okay, so we have some metrics, right? And I think this is what we wanted to do originally, anyways, was to find what those metrics would be. So we've kind of have eliminated size of community because that's important, but it's not the only metric. It has to probably be size versus something else, right? So okay, size is probably important, but you can probably measure size over time, right? Growth over time. So is the community growing, right? If the size is 100 and it's been 100 for 10 years, maybe that's not a great community, right? It's just kind of frozen in size. But if it's growing and we can see what the size of it is over time, then that would encapsulate that into a really cool KPI. Okay, cool. And the buddy, the handler is a communication, is more of like a action, right? What we can do to probably improve our engagement rate. So we will eliminate those. All right. So we thought it out and we have some pretty good metrics: project participation rate over time, turnover rate over time, growth over time. Okay, now let's ask ourselves this question, Tendi. do we still need to go out and professionally network, or do we not need to professionally network over anymore?
Uh, I think we still did the professional networking
Okay.
to what's called in like a rematch, like a this is like a to I don't know the how to say like a so we have something that we think this is right,
Mhm.
then we need to see from the person that already professional,
Yep.
and then what they think about that, and then it's like anything that actually we thinking is right or something. So like it's rematch or
Consultation.
something. I don't know the word. Yeah,
Consultation. Having somebody
yeah,
double check our homework, right?
yeah. Like
Okay.
testing our things.
Okay, so we're looking for consultation reasons, and we want to consult to make sure that, hey, look, I'm doing this work. Can you take a look at it and tell me if I'm getting the right answer? So consultation and to get feedback. Okay, so then we have to look back at our initial hypothesis again, which is: do you believe that the beach cleanup organizations in Bali think about these particular engagement metrics that we have just decided would be what we are looking to improve?
I think so.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Andre. Andre, do you believe beach cleanup organizations in Bali think about these particular metrics?
I'm not really think so, maybe, but the business company will be more thinking about
Yes,
this.
yes. I think what happens, Tendi, my hypothesis is that beach organizations are probably less formal. You're right, they're not unpaid, but being unpaid is actually, our community is paid, remember, right? They get money from our rental activities. So they are actually paid participants. When Andre talked about Gojek, I thought that was a little bit different because Gojek is a community of drivers, and drivers are generally kind of in a different category than property owners, right? Because property owners, they have assets, they have their own thing, so they're probably going to have different concerns and backgrounds than drivers. Okay, but I think nonetheless, this will be probably something that a company that is far more, let's say, technological and business oriented will be thinking about in a more distinct way. Whereas a company that is probably loosely organized or just vision driven only probably won't be so key on in this. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back to this hypothesis: is we can probably learn this from our previous mentors, right? We can probably ask Natalie. We can probably ask Ricardo. We can probably ask, I don't know, who else was a pretty good mentor? Tendi, you remember anybody? Or
Mm.
I think Sandy Kim is also good, sir.
Sandy Kim. Yeah, and they all said, come back to me if you have any more questions, which is
Yeah.
actually the basis of good mentorship. It should be like a dialogue, right? Hey, I had a question. You're the best person to ask. I want to ask you again. Okay, we can probably go back and refine our question now and ask them, okay, thank you for that last session. We realized that we need to move the elephant, but these are our KPIs. Do these make sense to you? Right? And do you have any like advice on how you drive these KPIs? Right? And that could save you time. That could save you a process of getting that execution correct. Or is there anything that you see in what I'm doing right now that is a red flag? Or is there anything that you see what I'm doing right now that indicates I'm on track? So you can get even more involved on your next session with professional networking by even bringing up your Trello cards, by showing them your statistics, by creating project visualization so that they can see what it is you're doing and they can go, wait, you've been doing this for 4 weeks and you had only 2% of people participate. That's not good, right? I would abandon that. I would do something else. But you want to have as much of that transparency as possible. Okay, all right, good. So what we've done here is we've taken quite a while, but we've refined this hypothesis, right? We've refined this thing down into a more clear objective. And this won't be probing around in the dark, going to every stranger, asking them for general community management advice. This now is very targeted. We're looking for a specific answer to a specific understanding of community engagement metrics. Okay? All right, cool. And therefore, we can save some time learning how to actually be effective community managers. Let's go to the second part. Let's go and ask the same question to the world-class materials. Different hypothesis now, same objective, right? So we have a few ideas. And remember, those ideas that we just came up with community engagement, those are just our guesses, right? We said, okay, I think this would be a good guess. So then the problem is actually a little bit more profound. How do we know if we've chosen the best KPIs to measure our community progress? Okay. What if you find out a year later that everybody was using this metric and they were getting so much success and you were using the wrong metric? That would be kind of disappointing, right? So this is more of like confirmation. How do we know that this is actually true? It's a little bit of a different problem than the original problem. And this one, I think, this one we can find study material on LinkedIn and HubSpot to support our problem definition. All right, this is easy, right? This pivot would take 10 minutes, maybe not 10 minutes, but maybe an hour. We can seek, hey, what are the correct metrics to measure community engagement? Maybe we can find these answers somewhere else too, as well, right? But we're taking a different hypothesis. We're taking the hypothesis that this is researchable, that there's been enough written material about this, and that we can find our answers and accelerate our learning by doing that. Okay? All right. So we have two different hypotheses. Now, will this actually work yet? Will this work yet? We forgot to fill out the rest of the thing. You can see how much time you can spend on this, right, Tendi? Right, Andre? You can spend quite a lot of time just thinking about this. But this is good. This is good. This saves you months of time later, right? When you go execute, you're like, oh, everything's so frustrating. Why is... But if you spend a few hours in the beginning, then later when you execute, it becomes much more clear. Let's finish this out. Who will benefit from this particular project? Let's go to Joe. Joe, when we do research and figure out what our metrics should be, what our KPI should be, when we do this general research, who's the primary beneficiary?
I think it's Bukit Vista.
Right, it's Bukit Vista, right? It's the Bukit Vista community management team. And this is important, Tendi. Why is this important to realize that we're the benefiters from this?
Hello, sir.
Yep.
It's a little breaking in the middle.
So Joe mentioned that it's the Bukit Vista team that actually benefits from this project. Why is it important to realize that it's the Bukit Vista team that benefits from the project?
Oh, yeah, because that will be effect to the community management work as well. So
Yes, a little bit, but you have to realize that also. Remember what our mission statement was, right? So BV4AH. We're here. Our mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transforms employees, partners, and guests, right? So this thing is not actually part of actual community management. It's not community management work. This is actually work to do before you get to community management work, because what this is doing is this is positively transforming employees, not partners yet, right? So this is work before the work even begins. And as such, it becomes important to know that. And what I would like to avoid is then this idea of we're trying to get more community managers to talk to us, and we pretend that that's actually work, right? Whereas it's not actually work. It's supporting us so that we can become more inspirational to our community, right? So we have to be clear about that. If we think that this is actually supporting our direct mission, we might be spending a lot more resources on it than we should, okay? All right, great. So we have that clear need. What are the user's needs? Wow, this is great. This is actually pretty clear. I feel like we can almost reduce the hypothesis part by just doing this part. Andre, what are our user needs? User in this case being our team. What do we need?
I think the need is strategical things to gain their motivation and engagement about this.
Okay, strategical thinking to improve community, improve work performance, really, right?
Yes, sir.
So we're doing this so that we can start doing a better job of doing what we do. Okay, all right, great. Okay, that's pretty much that's pretty much it. There's what did I just do that for? Okay, all right. We can delete the constraints. I don't think there's any constraints. Key success indicators. Wow, good question again. What is a key success indicator then, Tara? If we've been doing this well, how will we know we're successful?
Well, I mean, the first thing I would think of is just like any metrics that you were keeping track of from before, right? Like they're normally numbers that show you or are an indication of
Right.
success or failure. So yeah,
Well,
I'm just thinking
what kind of number?
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so we have a target number, right? We have a number here that we're focusing on. We want to get the community engagement rate higher, right? But this particular program is aimed at eventually delivering that. But that's not what really I think is maybe the key success indicator, right? The key success indicator is a little bit more subtle. Let's see if we can get it.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, this is what I think it is, right? Whatever number we're trying to get our community to improve on, right? If this program is working, then that number should be growing, right? So it's sort of a growth of our community, of our desired metric to improve, okay? So it's the growth of our desired metric to improve. If we start with a community engagement of 10%, and after we do this, a month later, we still have a community engagement of 10%, then this project probably is not helping us move those numbers, right? But if we start here at a community engagement rate of 10%, and we learn this, and then we come up with new programs, and then a month later, we have a community engagement rate of 90%, then this probably helped create that. So, but it's not this itself, right? Because this is helping us. This is actually just helping us. So the other success indicator is more of a project initiated, a project that will grow the desired metric. Okay. That's what it really is. It's not this itself, right? Because this is just helping us. It's more, can we be inspired to actually create a project that actually then elevates the engagement levels that we're looking for? If you filled out your employee satisfaction survey, you'll realize that the question we ask constantly is, what do you think of this program, right? What do you think of this program? What do you think of this program? Is this program helping you feel more motivated? Is this program helping you whatever, right? So that's what the output of community management is programs and projects. We have a CSC program. We have a 3C program. We have a financial dashboard training program. We have a bigger training program. We have all these programs. So if by learning community management, our programs become more successful, our program engagement levels become higher, then we have adequately learned how to do, then this particular supporting task has helped our community manager succeed. Okay? It's become more clear again. Next is the implementation ideas. All right, and this is great. This is actually pretty cool because I realized once again, I don't need two cards now, right? I have two implementation ideas. One, I could probably learn this online through LinkedIn. I could learn online through HubSpot. I could re-engage with past mentors, and I could engage with new mentors from company XYZ, right? Some new company. All right. Now, sorry I made this confusing because I just discovered we had implementation ideas here. So this actually is pretty cool. If I have implementation ideas, then I don't need to have two cards. I can just kind of keep everything on one card now, right? I might want to create two cards so that the evidence and the tracking make it easier. So if I track multiple implementations, it's sort of separate. But this is actually pretty cool. There's multiple ways that I can pursue a mission to accomplish the same end result, right? And through this process, my thinking has become clear. I know why I'm doing this now. All right. Yes. Okay. We are out of time. Sorry. I would like to do this actually for, let's see, let me check my calendar real quick. I think I have something next. Review and feedback. Review and feedback is with, oh, okay. I need to jump into a different meeting. All right. That's pretty much it for right now. Let's see. I'll stop the recording. And hopefully this is a good way. And so to summarize everything, this is how we evolve our project management skills, right? We look for new ideas. We take these new foundational templates. We can combine them. We can use them. We can start improving them through the use of using them. And then it helps us really clarify and gel together our ideas until they become super, super discrete. And we were able to take the correct action. So that's the big takeaway I want to have at today's project or today's community management discussion. Okay, so this will probably require some personal time for everybody to invest. Tendi, take some time. I'd like you to go through this, and on Thursday, show me your work, right, that you've gone through on your particular cards. What I would like to see is I'd like to see 2 cards. I know this takes a lot of time, so let's not do too much work all the way. But work on 2 cards each. Andre, you 2 cards, Tendi, you 2 cards. Work on these and try using this new format and upgrade your project management skills by defining your goals more clearly and defining the problem more clearly. Okay? And we'll take a look and review them on Thursday. And that will be the basis of our Scrum. How well did we actually execute this particular idea? Now, if I went a little bit too fast,